Today I've got two new Halloween DIYs. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own. Welcome. We are going to do a witchy cauldron and a jack-o'-lantern. I found these little Kool-Aid dog toys at the Dollar Tree. They were $1.25 a piece. I picked up three, but we're just going to focus on two of these today. I think they're made out of vinyl, I believe it says. They have little stretchy bands around them to keep them on their paper, so we're just going to pull those off to take those out. You can also cut them loose from the back if you want to. And this is what they look like. It's a little squeak toy. However, the squeaker is not working in either one of these, which may be why it ended up in Dollar Tree in the first place. Not going to be a problem because they won't be dog toys. They'll be Halloween decor. Perfect little shape. So I'm going to take pumpkin chalk paint to use on one, and we're going to use black chalk paint on the other one. One will be a jack-o'-lantern and the other one will be a cauldron. I'm not using acrylic because I've found that chalk paint pretty much sticks to about every surface. So I thought that this would work best. Plus, it's pretty easy to coat it less if you use a chalk paint or some type of paint that's got a little more thickness. And acrylic takes quite a few more, and it takes a little bit longer to dry. So that's why I have chosen this. I'm going to paint the entire thing black. It's not necessarily paint the bottom of the feet because we're going to be gluing those down to a surface later. If you want to glue the feet down so that you can paint the entire thing at one time, you can do that. It'll easily pop up. I've got it's like a little box that drinks come in, and I've just got that down there, and I will glue those down later to make it a little bit easier to work with. Now for the pumpkin, I had to use 2 coats of the orange on this one to cover it up. And you can do the same thing. Just use, maybe if you use a different brand, it might be a little thicker. Just look at it and see. The idea is so that I can't see the face through it. Now, if you're not good with drawing the face and all that, then maybe leave it on there where you can still see underneath. And then you can just trace back over that with a permanent marker or with a paint pen or something like that. And you can just use his original face on your pumpkin because I'm going to be using a different face. And he's got little hands, little arms, is really cute. Just going to hold on to that. And I guess if you wanted to do a gray cauldron, you could do that. If you wanted to do, a pink or a purple pumpkin, I know a lot of people are into pastels for Halloween. So, you could just customize this to make it your own. For me, I'm going to dry these. I'm going to keep it moving because it is vinyl and I don't want to melt anything. So I'm trying to keep that low stream moving. You can also use a fan or blow dryer. I know if you've been around for a while following my channel, there are lots of different ways that you can do things. So on the back side, I just decided to use a little bit of my Cool Temp glue to go in the little hole in the back. You don't have to do this at all. You could just paint it because it's going to be on the back of your project and you're really not going to see it. But I thought it might make it, a little smoother if I did it this way. Wouldn't be as noticeable as an indentation in the back. So I'm just adding a little in there, trying to make it close to level with the rest of the surface. And turning it, kind of keeping it moving in a circular motion like that is my attempt to keep from having glue strings all over the place. So you don't want to put your paint on there until that glue has set, and it will become like a milky color probably, depending on what glue sticks you use. That helps me know when mine is completely dry. Unless you want to touch it with your finger, but then it's hot, you might burn yourself, so just be really careful. If you scratch anything, you can go back over and clean that up as well. I went ahead and painted the top surface of it because we're going to do something different on the top of each one of these. So we won't see our ice cubes that the original Kool-Aid man had. Okay, so I just use a little hot glue to hold them down here so they can dry. This is just my process. You can feel free to do it however you
Don't
like.
forget to like, comment, and
If
share.
you are new here on my channel, I would love it if you would like the video, if you do indeed like it, and subscribe to the channel. I am 95,000 subscribers right now and really hoping to make it to 100,000 this year. So if you'd like to be part of that, I would appreciate it forever and ever, and I'll keep bringing you these unique goodies that I'll bring you twice a week. Okay. So now, if you just want to freehand the face on that jack-o'-lantern, you can. If not, go ahead and pull something up. My head's in the way, so you can't see what I'm doing here. But this is the one I chose. Very basic, very simple. And like I said, if you didn't use 2 coats of paint, you could always go back over there with a black marker and just trace out the original face. Now, I like to use the base color paint almost like an eraser for any little scratches I might have got on there, any eraser marks, and you can erase on top of the chalk paint. I didn't have any problems getting the lines off, but it does leave a little kind of a grayish cast. So I'm just cleaning up and crisping up that black by putting that orange all around it. Checking him out, making sure he looks good. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But he's good enough for me. You can give your little jack-o'-lantern some teeth if you want, totally up to you. With a cauldron, if you want to put a face on him, you could, but we're going to focus on working on the top of him right now. And I'm going to choose a green paint, like a bright color, make almost a fluorescent green lime color paint. And this is just acrylic paint that I'm going to put in the top of here because I want this to look like there's some type of a potion bubbling in here. You could do any color you want for this. You could do blue, you could do purple, you could leave it black. You could, just let your imagination run wild. The colors at Halloween are so broad and there's so many options you can choose from. You could even use like a colored glue stick and just fill it in with that. Totally up to you. And of course, the little ice cubes that were in the original Kool-Aid Man picture, they're still there. I'm not doing anything with them. If you wanted to get a hot knife and try to chop that off or hollow it out, I guess you could do that. But for those of us who are not willing to put in that kind of time, we'll just show you another way to do it. Now we're going to use wooden jar tops, and these are candle lids, actually. And I am just going to color those in whatever color I like. So I'm going to use the same green that I used on that on the top of that cauldron, and I'm going to put it all around this base. I just pulled off that little silicone seal first, and now I'm going around it here. Make it nice and smooth. And, of course, use whatever brush you like. I wanted to get one that was a little bit smaller so I could go around that ring, that little opening there. It's totally up to you because we're going to do some things to cover and embellish that. Of course we are. We'll set it aside to dry, and then for the jack-o'-lantern, I decided to make this base black. You could do crackle paint finish on this, you could sponge it, you could just use some antiquing wax and make it look wooden if you wanted to do that. Totally up to you. And I know a lot of people say, once you get your paint out of the bottle, don't put it back in the bottle because it can cause clumps and you may put some fibers or something in there, but I try to stretch my money, so if I get too much, I just try to load it back onto the end of the brush and then rake it back into the bottle. Yep, that's how I do it. Okay, so once that is dry, and it doesn't need to be, 2 coats or whatever, I'm going to decide what I want to use for my bubbles in the top. I didn't have any round beads. I didn't have any little table scatter that you can get at Dollar Tree. None of that stuff. It was from last year, and I'm crafting in the summer. I don't have Halloween items out in my Dollar Tree yet, so we're using the things that I've already had. I'm going to use some Quick and Thick to paste this down in here. If you want to use hot glue, you can, but the Quick and Thick does dry clear. And I've used this on a little bird bath that I made, this technique, and I really, really liked it. It's also thick, and it makes it easy for you to press down whatever type of material down into it. And I like the look of it. Okay, if y'all hear my phone notifications going off, I've been out of the house for a couple of days. I went to Jackson to stay with my boyfriend, so now I think I'm getting caught up with a whole bunch of texts and people trying to find me and such. So hear my notifications going off. Please pretend like you don't hear it. I'm hoping you can't. I don't want to be doing anything that's distracting. Okie dokie. So I'm going to take some of this little, I guess it's crushed rock or something like that. It's probably something you use in an aquarium, if I had to guess. That would be pretty too. I know you can get some of those stones that are like fluorescent and neon colors. That would be really cool on the top of here, really make it more playful. And if you wanted to, on here, you could dry brush a little bit of gold or silver around it or a green around it. You could just do so many things. I'm going to give you the basic because you really could just go nuts on this project. Um, but I'm just going to give you the basics and you can decide how you want to switch it up to make it your own. But I'd love to hear because I have one more that I haven't done anything with and I would love ideas. Okay, so now I've got some of these little sticks that you get at Dollar Tree, and you can just either break them in half or you can cut them in half with cutters or with your miter shears, which I have misplaced. I don't know what I did with my miter shears. It's the wrong time of year for that, people. It's the wrong time of year. And then I'm just going to use my micro sander to smooth down the edges just a little bit because we're going to be using some paper and some fabric to wrap this to look like little candies. So I have a package of napkins because what good decoupager does not have some napkins nearby? And I am going to use the black and white portion of this because it's like a cream and black, not like a true white. I thought it would look really pretty as a candy wrapper. So I'm just going to wrap it around here. I didn't cut it wide enough, but you're not going to see that. That'll be on the back. And then if you want to just pinch and lightly twist that, you can. Or you can tie it off with a little bit of baker's twine or jute or a thin ribbon, whatever you think would look cute on your candies. And if it wasn't tissue paper, if you use regular paper, you could always just twist that. Or if it was a waxed paper, you could always just twist it and it'll hold its shape, just like a Tootsie Roll or, candy that we have like that. But I think, adding the ribbon and stuff to it makes it a little cuter too. Makes it a little more fancy. Like maybe somebody um, made this candy at home. So then I'll go to the other end and I will tie a knot there. Look, y'all, I'm getting the hang of crafting with the fingernails. Check it out. Check it out. I got a knot. Who's impressed? Okay, because I'm a little impressed with myself today. Watching this back, yeah, I just did that in one shot. I am full of it. I want y'all to know what I have in my coffee this morning. So I have a Veranda Blend coffee, Starbucks, of course. I made it at home. 8 ounces of that with some half and half, and then some sugar-free pumpkin spice creamer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I could drink it all year long, but when you're doing fall crafts and Halloween crafts and you have that wonderful extra special cup of coffee or cocoa or chai or whatever you're having, oh, it's just delicious. So you see, if you're careful, you can actually use that tissue paper without any string and just kind of twist it, totally up to you. To do it with fabric, and I do encourage you to use scraps for this because this is like the perfect way to use little scraps. You could even use wrapping paper if y'all have something like that, right? Or some tissue paper if you found some pretty tissue paper. You could use a paper bag. It's just so many options for this. I'm just using a little bit of hot glue. I want to make sure I have enough room left on both ends so that when I twist it, it covers up the end. I have enough to tie around and then we could trim it off, And then I'm just going to roll it up and tie it off. And I thought the jute would be cute on the jute would be cute, on this fabric. So I just decided to use that here. It's just going to give you some ideas of how you could do yours if you want to, mix it up. In all, I think I made 6 pieces of candy, 2 in each little sort of wrapper. And then the fact that these little where ice cubes are in here, it helps us because it gives us a little bit of level so things are not laying flat. So it almost looks like there's more underneath that it's stacked on too. So I'll put these at different little levels and different little angles to make this look like this little happy jack-o'-lantern is full of candy. And of course, if you like glue webs, just leave them in there. It's totally okay. You can glue your little pumpkin back down if you want to, but he's dry now, so it doesn't matter if it falls over. It's totally okay. He will be stable once we put him on the base, which is over there drying right now. Now I'm just making sure when I look at it that the part that overlaps is toward the back. I don't want that in the front. Then we can add one more little piece in here. Think of all the little things that you could add in yours, anything. And then I've got some extra special little, I love that. Oh, it's so cute and rustic, fun. I think he's so fun. Perfect little shape for a jack-o'-lantern. I'm gonna go ahead and put him back down on his base. And then I'm gonna add a little something extra to the top. I'm just using a little E6000. It's gonna hold it down a long time, and a little bit of hot glue to hold it until that other glue is dry. You can place it anywhere you want to on your lid, and you can also use the lid upside down or right side up. Totally up to you. Oh, how cute. I love it. And of course, you can decorate the base any way you want, but I'll give you an idea in just a moment how I'm going to do mine. See, the paper is still on the bottom of his little feet. It doesn't cause a problem at all. He stays up nicely. And I've been in there playing around with these, pushing them around, and they're still locked in place on that base. Okay, how cute. So I thought, well, now we need to embellish a little bit because you know how I am. It's all about the embellishments. Here are some black beads. And here are some of those little, I don't know if they call them berry picks or what they call them at Dollar Tree, but I've had these and I get them every year because they're really useful and versatile. I want this to look like a bunch of balloons. So I'm sort of straightening the wire and then wrapping one bottom wire around the entire little bundle. So now our cute little party pumpkin, he will have a bouquet of balloons in his hand. And if you do have scatter and you don't have these, just use some little sticks, paint them black, brown, whatever color you would want your string to be hanging off of your balloons, and make your own little bouquet. Look how cute! And I'm just using my hot glue here, and I'll hold it in place until it has an opportunity to cool off. Look at all these little candy corns. Y'all collect this stuff over the years. I'm not even entirely sure where these came from, but I thought these would be really cute sticking out of the top. Just a little flyaway something, you know, that little unpredictable that we talked about that makes our projects different. So I thought, yeah, let's just poke these in here. I think at some craft stores you can buy little kits with candy and gumdrops, and I think that is something maybe I have seen more at Christmas time, like a candy theme, but you could certainly use that stuff here. And if you decided you didn't want to use classic colors like orange and black, you could do your pastels, you know, you could totally make it your own. How cute! Guys, please be sure that you paint the bottoms. Okay, be sure you paint your bottoms. You know what I say, for speed's sake, I don't do all of that. I try to tell you what to do, but I try to also save time because I have had people complain that my videos are way too long. Which, by the way, if you're one of those people who says, oh my gosh, it's 2 hours, there's no way I'm going to make it, you don't have to watch those 2-hour videos. They're compilation videos or mega videos where there's a whole bunch of stuff from different videos put together that have a similar theme. That's what those are for people who are looking for that type of material. But most of my videos you're going to find are about 30 minutes. Thank you to my channel members. Everything you do matters and helps. Thank you. Okay, let's come back over here to the cauldron. And I decided to add a little fake spider. You can get little fake bugs anywhere you get Halloween stuff, right? I'm going to put one on his hand like he's going, ah, there's one on my hand. I have a little black cat that came out of a Dollar Tree set of stuff a few years ago. Look in the $5, like the $5 plus section, whatever, and you can get little kits that have little houses and witches and skeletons and stuff. I use those all the time. It's well worth the money because you get so many pieces. I'll take this little broom. You can make your own if you want. If not, use whatever type of little broom you have. This one I've had for a while. I think it came from Target Dollar Spot. And I'll add a little spider there on the broom. He's just a little magical cauldron, but he has no face. It's not going to be like that. Now, an idea for beads, if you have leftover Mardi Gras beads, or if you have any types of beads that you don't use in your decor anymore, but you can craft with. I'm just using this jar to hold this in place while I put this on. Instead of using singular beads, you can always use a string of beads to make a bottom, to make a stand if you would like. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just showing you another way that you can do it. Or you can do like we did on the other one and just use, 3 or 4 beads spaced out on the bottom to give you a little bit of height so it's not sitting flat down on the table. It's totally okay though. If you want it to sit flat or if you have a smaller space, it's totally fine to do it that way. Now I'm sort of just looking at my edge to see where the edge is and pushing it down. I'll cut it off once we get back to the beginning, and then those two will be a little bit closer than the rest of them, but it's really not going to be that noticeable. All right, looking good. I love that they're round because they sort of mimic the shape of our cute little cauldron. And then right around the lip, I decided to add another row. You could add string lights there if you wanted to. You could do some of those little spider rings if you wanted to have little spiders around there. Or the ones that I love so much that have the little purple or orange jewel on them. It's like a little gem. I love those things. Every time I can find them, I get them, and I use them every Halloween and something, one thing or the other. Now be neater with your glue here. I made a absolute mess, and you can see my mess, but when you do that and you get a bunch of glue strings here and there, you can pick those out. You can add some heat from a heat tool, and you can clean it up so it looks a little bit better. For my house, my kids, my grandkids, this is going to be absolutely fine. By the way, I wanted to let y'all know I got a little backed up on my videos because my second grandson has been born. Yes, he has been born. He was born on the 29th of June. He is beautiful. He had sort of a little bit of touch and go start, but he made it home after 5 days of being in the NICU, and he is perfect. And my daughter and her husband and son are doing wonderfully together at home, and I can't wait to get back and see them. Now, if you want to, you can use any like a striped ribbon or a solid glittery ribbon around your edge here. You could do the same thing that you did on your other pumpkin and use beads, or you could use lights. They also have beads at Dollar Tree in the past that are like skulls and crossbones. You could use that there, and you can get those in a variety of colors. You could use a piece of rope. You could use table scatter. I mean, think of all the things that you could do there. And then again, leave it completely white if you want to. You can leave it a natural color. You can paint it black. You can stripe this thing. If you want to give it that Mackenzie Childs look, you could do a plaid on there. You could do a checkerboard look on there. There's a lot of options. And I got these little Kool-Aid men from Dollar Tree for $1.25. Go look in the pet section. It was in the pet toys, in boxes, and on the shelf. Absolutely adorable. Look at this little jack-o'-lantern. Are y'all as excited as I am to see how this little thing turned out? Because I think it is so cute. The little handmade candies. He's happy. He looks like he is ready to party. What did the Kool-Aid man used to say when he busted through the wall? Oh, yeah. Yep, see? Oh, yeah. Halloween's coming. I love the look of him. Oh, it is so cute. I hope y'all like this as much as me. Remember, paint the bottom. If you make it for yourself, put it on your desk, put it in a little happy place to make you smile. If you've got a display cabinet, how cute would these be? If you get a bunch of these, you can make a bunch of different styles. Yeah, these were a lot of fun, and I am super thrilled to be bringing this video to you. It's been a while in the making because I had to do a little bit of Christmas in July, and then I had a compilation video, and then the baby was born, and I was at the hospital. So, but we're getting on track, y'all. We are getting back on track. I may have another a couple of Christmas in July, and then straight back into Halloween because for whatever reason, you guys are definitely preferring my Halloween to the fall. I'm still gonna add a little fall in there. You know I'm going to. But yeah. Look at these. So, what would you do with yours? I want to know if anybody has a spare one that they don't know what they want to do with yet. I want it to be Halloween themed. I'm really thinking about making one into a mushroom, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So, it will be in an upcoming video. So, be sure that you like and comment and subscribe and all of those good things so you don't miss notifications and you don't miss all of this wonderful Halloween excitement and fun. I hope it brings you as much joy as it does me. I just have so much fun. It just makes me feel like an absolute kid again doing these crafts. Absolute kid. Okay, so I need you to check out this rectangle here below next for a lot more fun content. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you soon. Bye.